What make America America? Is it the presence of people or men like Edison, who by the way been refused by the official system? What make America America is Edison as an inventor, or the president who sent America to the Vietnam War. Who make America great and a culture that many cultures all over the world inspire to be like it? Leaders and the civil activist groups, or those who dropped bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Who make America great? The research in social science and the ones who wrote a constitution and the ones who fought a war, civil war, to unite a country under one constitution, or those who are sending their armies to be a policeman of the world? Think about it. Who gave the power to America? The ones who invent, the ones who are the ones who are civil activists, the ones who are leaders in social sciences and in helping, or the ones who created wars and dropped bombs? You were probably saying both. Those who drop bombs and kill protect the others. Well, I want you to revise this thinking again to make it sure whether it is right or not. I'll give you another example in one person. Take a person who negotiates with the Soviet Union. The whole Soviet Union collapsed not by war, but by negotiation. The Soviet Union did not end with a single fire of bullet. You win the Soviet Union not by fighting. The same person who was negotiating with the Soviet Union fought a single country in North Africa by dropping, I think, some bombs on it. Did he win? He did not. Until now, he did not. This means that the use of physical power and might do not solve problems, and I really want you to think about this. The arsenals in the United States Army is not what made the United States great. The Constitution, which respects the human dignity, the civil activist, is what make America great. Accommodating immigrants, making America a heaven for scientists and thinkers, is what make America great. Not showing the signs of hatred to those from the Arab origin, even if they are holding the American passport, not by showing the signs of hatred towards Muslim in your society. This did not make it great. What make it great is that you open the land for them to participate in the culture, not to reject them, like what is happening now after, again I'm saying, the mighty exhibition, or the exhibition of mighty power by the officials supported by the directed media. I did not imagine before the 9th of September that the American media is so much directed to the extent that it destroyed the other media by bombs, so it does not speak any other things apart from what it is saying. You really need to think about these things, dear Americans. It is important to you, because in order to call itself a democratic society or democratic culture, the dictatorship of media is actually committing self-suicide. Dictatorship of media is worse than dictatorship of some governments, because the dictatorship of governments, the one or the group which make themselves in a position of authority, dictate rules and regulations, and everybody knows that they are dictating it by power. In a democratic society, when there is a dictatorship of media, like what we have seen in Afghanistan and in Iraq and in now, the culture is not taking his guard. He have a false belief that he is being informed, and you just can imagine the result of such thing. Also, from the same perspective, if the American culture do not revise giving more and more and more authority to its government, unknowingly, he is going to destroy his constitution by his own hand. The reason why constitution being wrote by your leaders is actually to prevent the corruption of power. Your leaders was enlightened and realized that power is corrupting. So therefore they have separated the administrative power from the legislative power. Now imagine that if you have the power of administration, legislation, and declaring war is more and more given to the administrative authority. This will lead at the end of the day and at the end of the road to a total dictatorship. And what a dictatorship! Have atomic bombs, have domination, and wants to be a policeman of the world. It's going to destroy everything, and it's going to start by its nation. This is logical thinking. So that's why you need to think about it. I finished the 3 areas of my message. But I can imagine you are, dear listener, asking now a question. I have spoke about basic facts. I have spoke about how do we look to ourselves, and finally how do we look to you. But I did not speak about how your culture looking to our culture. Well, I think this is your job to tell me how do you speak about my culture. How do you look to my culture? But certainly I can assume how your culture is looking to us by concluding from what I hear, see, and read. And I think there are 3 areas in which is dominating your perspective about our culture. Area number 1, that the position of women, and that they are oppressed and they are not having their right in our culture. Area number 2, that we are not responsible in dealing with our natural resources, therefore we don't deserve it. These natural resources should go to those who responsibly deal with it. And the third area that one can conclude is that we are a bunch of Bedouins who just cannot be civilized. I will try to explain these 3 areas in brief before concluding my talk on one very important and sensitive subject. And finally, after concluding by speaking this sensitive and important subject, I will just say a final conclusion and close out there.